All right, hello, welcome traders. It is Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. Great day for our trading accounts today. Booked some nice gains. Also, did a good session this morning with our Discord members. I want to share some of the key concepts with you guys that we shared this morning when I was going through it. And I know I talk about technical analysis periodically, and every night I'm showing typically what is ES doing in oil futures, and I love trading futures. To me, futures is the best place to trade if you're going to be trading and you're willing to take on some decent amount of risk. Now, if you're investing for the longer term and you don't want that high, 3% a month or some kind of goal that's higher, okay, futures is not for you. Okay. You shouldn't be playing with futures. You should be more along the lines of ETFs and indexes. That's really where the focus should be. Individual stocks, maybe you want to pick up some of those Nvidia or Apple or things like, some of those, great companies out there, go ahead. Okay. But what I really want you to focus on is what's your investing account, what's your trading account, as we've been talking about, but we're going to talk trading today. So let's just get into it and talk trading and some of the key things I want you to take away. And for me, it's a lot of technical analysis. Now, do I inundate myself with it and do I get super detailed? No, I'm looking at really probably 4 key indicators, maybe 5 things. They're all on one chart, and I'm taking a look. When I'm reviewing things that I like to look at just a couple things. I like to look at the weekly and the daily chart, number one. So what's going on the weekly and the daily? Why am I looking at both time frames? Well, I want to see if the weekly chart's giving me a trend in a certain direction. And because most of my trades are longer term, I like 90 DTE, 120 DTE, 150 leaps, something like that, depending on what I'm trading. That's what I'm looking for, number one. Okay, so I like that weekly chart. It's my favorite thing. The daily chart, great if you want to do any swing trading, active trading. We can certainly look to see what's working well. But number one thing I want to look at is I really love the RSI. So the relative strength index, really key for me. It measures market momentum. I'm also looking for divergences, and we can see a bunch of those. Let's just jump in real quick and take a quick look at what's going on the ES. And I think this will explain it a little bit better too. I'm visual. I hope you guys are as well. But just taking a quick look here, RSI, look at the divergences here. When we hit on the weekly chart, we hit a high here, RSI up all the way up to this 82 level. Then we hit another high here, but RSI wasn't quite as high this time, only around 79. And then we hit a new high this week as well on an even lower RSI. So RSI has been diverging for a couple months now. So I'm looking to see, is momentum going to continue in our direction? If we're even looking at the, at the daily chart here, you can see RSI back here at this high was all the way up in the, 76-ish range. Okay, then we just made new highs again recently, okay, where we didn't even get to the 70. Okay, and then we made a new high yesterday, which we also didn't even really get to the 70. So we're not setting new RSI highs there. So I like watching that. I also love to buy when RSI is a bit oversold and recovering, or at least it's below the 50, moving up from that 30 to 50 level. I think that's a great time to get in, whether it be long-term, short-term. I also like the MACD. It's another momentum indicator. I love to see a rising MACD or a reversing MACD, giving me some more conviction that momentum is going my way. I like the stochastic momentum indicator. Shock, another momentum indicator out there. I love to see overbought, oversold conditions and which direction the stochastic momentum indicator is rolling. I love oversold levels and watching it move up. If it's on the weekly, not as big of a deal. I'll rely on RSI a little bit more. But if it's on the daily, boy, that gives us a great entry point for some swing trades or getting into some trades at some good levels for cash secured puts or put credit spreads, something along those lines that are shorter term. Let's take a look at that. And then I love the Bollinger Bands as well. It's not a huge one for me, but I'd love to see if something's tagging the upper end or the lower end, then potentially we could see a reversal back into the middle, back towards the 21 EMA. So typically the 21 EMA is the middle of the Bollinger Band. It's really a 20, but I love the 21 EMA. It's close enough. And I'd love to see something hitting the bottom or the top of the Bollinger Band. I know it's going to revert to the mean at some point in there. That gives us our entry opportunity. So those are some key technical indicators for me, that 21 EMA, the 50 EMA also being important. And then I'm looking at those technical levels. A couple other things that I'm looking at when I'm trading. Let's take a look at what bonds did here as well. So we can jump into bonds. You can see, RSI oversold, curling up lately. Okay, stochastic momentum oversold, curling up. You can see the squeeze was long on the squeeze and now potentially reversing. RSI is reversing. It's exactly what we want to see. Okay, we're also at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, and we're going to reverse maybe back up to the 21. If you take a look at let's see what we got here. Let's get the put call off the screen, and let's just take a look at kind of a regular chart on pretty much anything. Let's see, we're on the monthlies. Let's look at a daily chart. Okay, let's look at a 1-year chart on some things here. And let's put Bollinger Bands back on. So I want to get Bollinger Bands turned back on. I don't always watch them on everything that we're doing, but let's get these Bollinger Bands on. And you can see the Bollinger Bands in red and purple, right? And let's just jump in. When we get up to the top of the Bollinger Band in red here, we eventually revert back to the 21. Okay, we broke back, came down, hit the bottom of the Bollinger Band, came back to the 21. Okay, then a big gap down below the Bollinger Band, snapped back to the 21. Then just danced around in the middle here along the 21. Okay, and then back to these top of this Bollinger Band. Okay, and we ran higher and then reverted back eventually here. So just because it breaks through doesn't mean that it's coming back down, but these are opportunity areas to see, is RSI following along with that? Does it make sense to me? So that's just Amazon. If we take a look at oil here, okay, oil's been bananas lately. So taking a look at oil, down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band, back to the 21. Down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band where it stops, reverses back to the 21. Down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band. And when the Bollinger Band is, or the 3 ATR level here, when they're falling at like a 45-degree angle, you just follow the trend down, okay, until you start to see a reversal. And you can see some reversals starting on either the MACD or the RSI or even the squeeze, giving you a sense, okay, we're reverting back up here. Now, that's on a daily chart. If you take a look at a weekly chart, okay, same type of thing can apply here. This is oil. Bottom of the Bollinger Band, back up to the 21, and the momentum kept going. Top of the band, okay, rode up to 45-degree angle, eventually sold off, hit the 21, came down, touched the bottom of the band. Up, didn't quite touch the top of the band, back down, bottom of the band, rode it down a bit. Okay, so is it the holy grail of trading? Not at all, but it gives you some sense of, are we overbought? Are we oversold? Could potentially a reversal be coming? And if I'm wanting to get in on leaps, I want to see us at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, maybe on the weekly. If I'm looking to trade put credit spreads, shorter term, maybe I'm looking at the daily bottom of the Bollinger Band, oversold, stochastic momentum, and RSI. Any of those things I think works. Also, another tip or two here, I try to avoid the first hour of trading. Now, in futures, they've been open for quite a while because they'll be open at 6 o'clock in the evening all the way through 5 o'clock the next day during the week, and starting on Sunday nights. Yeah, even when the market opens, that first hour of the open market can move things a bit, but really when it comes to stocks, I want to stay out, don't touch things, don't trade things for that first hour. I call it amateur hour. That's really where things shake out. I want to see the weak hands, the retail traders. I want to see them all shaken out before things stabilize a bit, and then we can start to trade. If I'm trading zero DTE, my favorite strategy on zero DTE here, and let's go to see if we can get in here on the day trade. Oops. I don't really want on demand. I don't know why that started. All right, let's go. My computer's running a little bit slow. All right, let's get into a day trading chart here. And I'd like to trade SPX on zero DTE options. You can see that after the first hour, I want things to shake out a bit so I can see where things are going and where things are. See if that's where I want to be trading. So we wait for the first hour. The trend was down the first hour of the day today. So if the trend is down for the first hour, you can see, we opened here at 9:30. This is the let's actually just zoom in. I don't even want to see the whole day, but as you zoomed in here, the first hour by 10:30, this thing was in a pretty good downward move. Pretty easy to identify the direction that we were in on the day. You had stochastic momentum dropping. You had RSI dropping. Everything was just dropping. So I like to get in after the first hour, get a sense of direction in the market, play the direction. I'm going to go, in this case today, with like a call credit spread. That would be the direct, the thing. We're going down. Call credit spread on the session. I go out 5 delta, 30 wide, put that on. That's my trade. Right. So again, avoid the first hour of trading, get rid of the amateur hour, get rid of the shakeout period, and you'll be much more successful. All right. So some trade setups that we saw today, and I just want to share some of those with you on the day. Let's jump back in. Okay. Gives you a sense of what I'm looking at. All right. So on ES today, we gave back basically all of yesterday's gains, not kind of a nothing day. On the day, we looked at oil this morning. Pretty good sell-off today, but finished way off the lows. So a little shakeout, maybe. The weekly looks pretty good for continued moves higher. The daily looks a little bit weak right in here. So right now, we just kind of let oil, oil do its thing. But it's been in a sharp sell-off due to some geopolitical factors in the Middle East. Okay. Now Israel says, well, we're not going to touch the Iranian oil fields, and that was keeping oil elevated a bit. We kind of sold off on that. We'll see what happens. Bond market, we've touched base on. Nice reversal move today. Bonds a bit oversold. I think this is a good opportunity. I think a good opportunity potentially to start getting into bonds a little longer to intermediate short-term bond moves. Gold. Nice bounce off the 21-day moving average. Gold moving its way higher on the shorter term. Getting still overextended on the weekly, but gold not a bad opportunity. But probably my favorite setup right now that I'm seeing is in the small caps. So small caps, great setup in here. You can see all the momentum moving to the upside. We're back in this ascending triangle. Really on the weekly that we've been in, a pretty good size ascending triangle. We'll move this up so you can see. Are we going to break at this time? 1, 2, 3. Now 4 hits. Okay, 4 hits at 2288, 2300. 4 hits at that same level, and we cannot break through 2300. Tried again today, didn't move it. However, I love the short-term momentum. We're in a squeeze, okay, a squeeze here on the daily, potentially breaking out to the upside. So we're in a squeeze. RSI is rising, stochastic momentum's rising. We've got MACD rising. We're above our moving averages. PSAR bullish reversal yesterday on RTY. I like small caps. I think they're setting up really, really, really well. So I think that's an area that you want to potentially play in. We added TNA today in the Lazy Trader account. So we added TNA actually yesterday. So we got into TNA. Let me take a quick look. We also, uh, what else did we add in there today? We added a little bit of VOO, which is the S&P 500 ETF as well. Why VOO when I've already got SPY? Again, it's the S&P 500 Vanguard ETF, because this trade was looking to actually get into something that I could potentially get assigned on and start to hold on to some good lower prices. You know, are we down at a level that I want to really get in at? No, so I dropped it pretty low. We're in at the 450 level on naked puts right now. It's a pretty good area to start building some base. It would be about a 20% drop from here. So we'll see what happens overall. But I do like that we also had some trades come off. We're going to get assigned on some QQQ, which is awesome. We'll be able to do a little bit of wheeling on the Qs. I don't mind wheeling high quality or indexes here. I don't like all of the meme type stocks or the hot trend stocks that don't have good solid earnings. I want to be assigned, if I'm going to get assigned, SPY, VOO, if you want to use that. I want to get assigned on the Qs. I want to get assigned potentially on IWM. I don't mind getting assigned on something like a Google, a NVIDIA, MicroStrategy, Eli Lilly, Apple, TMF, TLT on the bond side. I like to get assigned, if I'm going to get assigned on something that's solid, that I know has good opportunities for me to get in and get out. I'm going to say I'm going to make some money, get assigned, and I can hopefully then sell some covered calls on it. Again, what I don't like about the wheel is I don't like the fact that most people are picking subpar quality, high volatility stocks, okay, that don't have great earnings, don't have long-term growth, don't have low debt or no debt, don't have good solid fundamentals. If you're going to wheel, you got to pick something good and solid, not something that, are you okay owning it? Well, yeah, it might be okay owning coin, but personally, I don't. It's not a great stock. Mara, I don't really want to own it. I'd want to trade those. Okay. I don't want to get assigned on those and have to hold those for the long term. If I'm looking at something, I want to see quality balance sheet that I know that even in a downward move on the markets, it can hang in there. All right, let's take a quick look at the account today. What did we do? We finished the day 395 on Delta on the main trading account. Pretty good Delta neutral. 1438 on theta. So our theta is really good at 0.42. Love where our theta is. This increased volatility that we're seeing. And even on the VIX, VIX still elevated. It's hanging in there right around the 20.6 range. So VIX is elevated. The VVIX remains a bit elevated. Our put call ratios are heading lower and potentially that's another sign to keep an eye on. So we want to keep an eye on that put call ratio, because we know that if the put call ratio starts to rise, the markets are going to start to drop a bit. Okay. And it's now a little bit oversold, potentially looking to rise a bit. Again, adding to that concern in the markets, but volatility is up. We're heading into the election. Totally understand it. We had a nice gain today. So we picked up over $4,000 in this account, 343,664. So good stuff here. We're still down a bit on net lick, mostly because of our bond positions. So looking at my bond positions, between bonds and some oil, those are down a tad. As those things rebound here, those positions rebound, net liquor will be shooting back up. BP usage is in great shape, 57% after you take bill out. We did realize 4,198, so we're up 11,358 on the month so far in 15 days. Having a great month. Back at it. Yeah, the markets have been kind of up, down, and all over the place for the most part, but yeah, you're right off the new all-time high, so we should be doing well We'll see what happens if the markets start to roll over at all. So that's the main trading account doing fantastic there, and our Vega now is pretty low compared to where our Theta is. We're really only at 25% Theta to our Vega, or a 4x Vega, which is perfect, exactly where we want to be. We've got the account really cooking the way we want to. We've made some adjustments. We peeled back a bit on our 112s to the 111 temporarily until we could get some tranches of our volatility hedges on. Those tranches are on now. I actually took off one of the trades that I was doing from a volatility standpoint, but I put a new one back on. So we've got 3 tranches right now of a volatility hedge that's running. That has really helped our account substantially. Also today, to give some safety to the account as well, what I did was, we still have some put debit spreads that have a decent amount of time to go, 16 to 30 days, but the short puts in the put debit spread are almost down to a couple $100, almost to nothing now. So what I did was I closed all the short puts in one of my XL 112 trades, closed the short puts as the PDS, leaving me with just the long puts. That's going to suffice as my 14 DTE hedge, technically a 16 DTE hedge now. It cost me half as much as my hedge normally would have, but gives me exactly what I'm doing and I want to. It's already been paid for by the naked puts. So that's on today. That's helping us. I looked at my risk analysis on Tasty Trade. It's one of the best low spots I've been in. I think with the new calendarized 112s that we're mixing in there, some of the other trades that we have on, I think in the next 2 weeks leading into the election, this account will be at the best condition in my opinion, we have ever been in. So we are sailing along. We're booking gains. We're back on it, and I'm excited about where we're going. I think we've made a couple little tweaks and adjustments, but that's it. We're back on the 112s. We're cranking these out. We're doing great with our oil trades. We're doing great on the RTY futures trades. We've closed our 6A Strangles for some winners. We had some big gains today on bonds. I love where we are setting up for this run into the election and then thereafter. So we've reduced risk. We're generating great gains. And you can see the gains here. I mean, 11 grand in 15 days. Perfect for this account overall. And if we look at the lazy trader account, it's the investing account. Okay? We managed to book some more gains today on that. So we booked another $558 in gains today. Again, we shouldn't be booking so many trades, but we've got, it's lazy, but it's still requiring 5-10 minutes of work a day. What did we do today? We closed out some more winners on the 1 DTE overnight trade that we do. And we also closed out a few other trades that we had some winners on, just keeping the account clean, nice and easy to manage. Right now, it's actually got a few too many trades in it. I want to take a couple off, so I'm going to let some of these come off. But if we're looking at the account here, almost everything's up. I mean, we're up on we added a Boeing put credit spread. We've got a Google trades up 40%, JP Morgan trade up 47%, Lilly trade up 11%, MicroStrategy trade up 47%, our NVIDIA trades up 36%, our Oxy trades up 33%, our SPY leaps are up over 12% as a total. We took 2 off for winners yesterday with this $1,800 and change plus some yesterday. Our TLT trades and our TMF trades down a fraction. They're down a bit, so we'll wait for those to come back. Our TNA trade that we just put on, up fractionally today. XLE trade is up as well. And we entered VOO today. The goal of that VOO trade, a little different than some of the other trades that are in that lazy trader account. We could be doing SPY because we already have the SPY leaps. I'm just adding the SPY leaps. My goal is not to get a sign. My goal is to get out of those at like a 30% gain. Okay, so the SPY leaps, they have their own strategy, not really technical analysis basis, based on a back-tested strategy that I came up with. that have been working fantastic for years. So I love the SPY Leaps trade that I have on. Okay, it is a weekly trade that we do. I'm okay with assignment, but that's not the goal. Okay, the goal is book some profits, keep generating income on this account. The VOO trade, which is the same type of an underlying as S&P 500 ETF, the spider, but it's got a lower expense ratio because I'm looking to potentially get assigned. I would like to start to pick up some more S&P 500 here at a good price. I'm not going to go hog wild. I'm not going to sell a ton of leaps and naked puts because I don't want all of that extra risk in the market. But I'm okay if my net lick drops a bit. If we get assigned on some of these things, we would have to drop 20% for me to get assigned. So I'm going to go on these naked puts out a little ways, but the goal is if I don't get assigned, I'm looking for 90, 95, 100% profit on this thing. If I get that in 3 months, I make 15% or so in 3 months. In fact, let's give you a sense of what it all looks like. And I'm hopefully getting assigned on some QQQ tonight. There's no reason I wouldn't get assigned, but I think that'll be something to check out. But on the VOO trade, we took in, we did 5 contracts here, 285 on this particular one. So our extrinsic is 1485. 1485 on these 5 contracts. Right now they're at 297. So we're at 1495. We sold, our cost was 1425, and we used, let's see if we can find the margin on that. So I'll stop sharing that. And let's get out and take a look and see if we can see, what was it? About $9,000, almost $10,000 in margin. So $1,450, 1485, 1485 on almost 9,600. That's a nice 15% gain in 94 days, 3 months. So that's what we're looking at, 15% in 3 months. If the market sells off 20% before the end of the year, which I don't feel is likely, but it's possible, I'm okay owning these shares. If VOO continues or the S&P starts to really sell off and drop here, I will try to add some more. I'd like to get in at some better prices, but I'll wait a little bit to see, do we start to hit that, the bottom of the Bollinger Band to get long, but I'm okay with things the way they are right now. So again, just continuing to modify or improve the strategies that we've got, but overall, that lazy trader account doing fantastic so far. We are up 3,200 for the month. Again, we don't close out of a ton. 3,200 for the month. Sorry, it's 3,700 for the month. What are we looking at? Okay. Monthly, yeah, I'm sorry, 3,700, almost $3,800 on a 310 portfolio. We are now up 6% in 2 months, almost 3 months, not quite 3 months yet. So almost 6% in about 2.5 months. Perfect. It's exactly where we want to be. Okay. Low stress trading, low activity, but we've got that trading account, which is booking gains right now. So we're doing great. I hope you got some good takeaways from here. Again, good technical analysis stuff at the beginning gives you a sense of what I'm looking for to make some trades, a little bit of an analysis of what trade opportunities are out there. Covered the accounts here today. Gains are rocking. Love where we are. We'll see you guys in trading tomorrow. Take care. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.